What do you hope that people take away from this book when they read it?
Well, I feel like right now, especially, obviously, everybody's in a very different situation than we were a month ago. And we're at home and we're all busy, but we definitely have more time to do things at home than we did before. So, kind of what we're doing here right now and what I'm doing with my kids is actually really cooking together, doing more projects together, doing exercises together. And we wrote this book long before we knew any of this was going to happen, but it does have full exercise routines, things you can do at home. Obviously, all the gyms are closed.
Yep.
The meal plan, the prep, it's simple. Like, I'm not a complicated like meal prep person. I like everything to be easy. So the recipes are easy to follow, and I've been making them with my kids, and they love it. And it's just something that you do while you're at home right now, which is nice. And we want to eat healthy. Like, I see people snacking on all this junk, and like, we don't want to come out of this being like, gosh, I really wish for, a month or two I wasn't sitting there eating all this junk all day long. So the book has healthy recipes that are easy to make.
Yes, which is so important, especially in a time right now. What are like other ways other than cooking and exercising that you're keeping your kids occupied during the quarantine?
So we're just trying to do like just activities as far as we just do weird things like scavenger hunts. I'll hide things around the house and we'll have like a race to see who could find it. We'll like take Hudson's little play mat and take the shapes out and like hide them random spots. Or we're just doing crafts, just lots of crafts and just like little obstacle courses outside. I'm just like, whatever, just random ideas. Cooking is one thing. Also in the book, we get a lot into mindset, and that's so important right now as well with everything going on. And I feel like, you could look at this in a really negative way, or you could just try to look at this as far as like, okay, I have this time right now. How could I, shift my mind and try to make things more positive, especially for people around us and people, that we live with. So there's a lot in the mindset. It really breaks that down. Meditations, breath work, things like that to just help refocus and try to stay positive.
Yes, so important right now. And I know you mentioned that the recipes in the book are super easy to do, which is great right now for people who maybe weren't great chefs before this situation. Have you found that your diet has changed during the quarantine at all? Or I know you said like you want to stick to being healthy. What is your advice for people to stay in that and be motivated to do that?
I think like maybe I've been healthy for a long time, and if I don't eat healthy, my stomach really hurts, so it's a little bit different probably. But I think a good thing, and the book breaks it down too, is to have a plan. Like every Sunday, get together with your boyfriend, your husband, your kids, whoever, your roommate, and like just set like, here's what we're gonna eat this week. And when you go to the grocery store, when you order your groceries online, like you have it set, and that way so that you have like those stock items of food that you're gonna need for the week. And that way it just leaves out like, oh my gosh, I'm starving, there's nothing to eat, I'm just gonna order a pizza, right? So it's just really having like a game plan.
Totally. And I know in the book, speaking of like your specific dietary restrictions, you were so vulnerable and open with whether it be with your autoimmune diagnoses or the stress you were under or the pressures you felt. Were you nervous to make yourself vulnerable in that sort of way in this type of forum?
No, definitely not. I feel like I've just dealt with much worse things than that. No, I'm happy to share. I feel like a lot of people right now have autoimmune issues, right? I know a lot of people that do too. So it's nice to be able to talk about those things and things that have worked for me and things that I learned along the way. Until before I got diagnosed, I just always felt like something was wrong, but I didn't know what it was. You know what I mean?
Definitely. And I know in the book you speak about how you were exercising so intensely with the high intensity workouts, or you were over caffeinating and under eating. How do you think that the pressure from the outside world like affected these choices that you made? Because I know you said it was like something you had in your mind. You wanted to stay fit for filming and things like that.
I think, I've always just been like, I grew up playing sports. I grew up playing soccer and basketball and track. So I've always been really active. And in my 20s, I just worked out really hard. The kind of thing that like reset for me was after I had Braden, I just felt like after I worked out really hard, I felt like I got like, whoa, like I hit a wall hard. And so I just kept still trying to do it. And then I would just like fall flat. And so that's when I was like, okay, something's not right anymore. Like I can't continue to work out like this. I just don't feel right. And so that's when I just slowly started like taking it back. And at first I was like, oh gosh, like if I'm not working out like that, am I going to gain weight? What am I going to feel like? But because I feel like it's probably 80% diet, even kicking my workouts back a lot, I still felt great.